What if the greatest battlefield of World War III isn't the land or sea, but the minds of those who survive it? Imagine a world reshaped not just by destruction but by the invisible scars left behind. Today, we're unraveling the untold stories of survivors, the environmental devastation, and the deep psychological toll of modern warfare. Let's dive into the aftermath of humanity's darkest hour. The Refugee Crisis, a humanitarian tsunami. When war breaks out, the first casualty is stability. Entire cities crumble, and millions are forced to flee with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Refugee camps swell beyond capacity, turning into sprawling, chaotic hubs of desperation. Imagine families torn apart, parents struggling to keep their children alive amid shortages of food, water, and medical supplies. This isn't a scene from history books. It's a living nightmare for millions, with nations scrambling to provide aid while their resources dwindle. And here's the haunting reality: displacement isn't temporary. For many, returning home becomes an impossible dream as war redraws borders and devastates communities. Generations are raised without a sense of belonging, forever marked by the trauma of being uprooted. Famine and mass displacement. War doesn't just destroy lives, it destroys the systems that sustain them. Fields are burned, supply chains are severed, and access to clean water becomes a luxury. Famine sweeps across conflict zones like an invisible predator, preying on the most vulnerable. Imagine waiting in endless lines for a single loaf of bread, knowing it won't be enough to feed your family. Parents making impossible choices about which child gets to eat that day. This is the harsh reality for millions caught in the crossfire. And the ripple effects don't stop there. Neighboring nations face an influx of refugees, stretching their resources to the brink and igniting political tensions. It's not just a humanitarian crisis, it's a geopolitical one. The environmental toll. A wounded planet. War leaves scars not just on people but on the earth itself. Modern warfare isn't just about bombs and bullets. It's about chemical spills, scorched forests, and radioactive fallout. Picture a landscape once lush and green, now reduced to a barren wasteland. Rivers poisoned, forests razed, and air thick with pollution. The use of nuclear or chemical weapons creates lasting environmental damage that can render entire regions uninhabitable for generations. Even conventional warfare wreaks havoc. Oil spills from targeted refineries, deforestation to make way for military operations, and unchecked emissions from war machines. The planet becomes collateral damage in humanity's quest for power. Psychological scars. The battle never ends. For those who survive, the war never truly ends. Combatants return home with invisible wounds, PTSD, anxiety, and depression that make reintegration into society a daunting challenge. And then there are the civilians. Imagine children who grow up knowing only the sound of air raid sirens, the sight of destroyed neighborhoods, and the loss of loved ones. For them, Trauma isn't just a chapter in their lives. It's the defining story. Survivors often grapple with guilt. Why did I make it when so many didn't? These psychological scars ripple through families and communities, creating cycles of pain that last for decades. The stories of survivors. Voices that echo. Listen to the voices of those who've endured. A mother who lost her children in an airstrike but continues to care for orphans in a refugee camp. A soldier haunted by the faces of those he couldn't save. A child who dreams of a world they've never known, one without war. Their resilience is a testament to the human spirit, but their stories are also a warning. The cost of war isn't measured in victories or losses. It's measured in lives forever changed. World War III wouldn't just reshape maps or economies. It would reshape humanity itself. The scars it leaves would be felt for generations, in ways we can't yet fathom. The question isn't whether we'd survive, it's whether we'd recognize the world, or ourselves, when it's over.